What's good, y'all? Marcus Frage from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciated. I would say this is a Teachable Tuesday shorts, but it's actually not. This is going to be a longer video because it's going to be a very interesting discussion. And I'm kind of stuck in traffic right now, so I said, screw it. Why not give you guys a video? So today's topic, I've talked about on this channel before, is does age gap matter in relationships? Now, when I say age gap, let me just make the disclaimer. I feel like I should have to put this out here, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm talking about adults, legal adults, 18 and over. All right. Does age gap really make a difference? There is quite a divide in the community of people. There are some people that say age gap really doesn't matter. There are some people that say it depends. There are some people that say it does. So we're going to address all three sides for who says what and so on and so forth. And, what do I think for that matter, right? So I'm going to start off with the fact that there are a lot more ladies, apparently, that think age gap does matter in a relationship compared to guys. And if you look at the way human nature is set up, there's a good reason for that, right? So age gaps in relationships have always been a thing, right? This ain't nothing new. It's been going on since Lord knows how long. I think about my grandparents, right? My grandparents, Pop and Grandma, may they rest in peace. Pop was 10 years older than Grandma. I think about my dad and my stepmom. My dad is 7 years older than my stepmom. I think about my current relationship with my lady. I'm 8 years older than her. You know what I'm saying? She's 25, I'm 33. So I bring all this into fruition because, a lot of people would think that, okay, that's not too bad. That's not a big deal. And there are other individuals that say it is a big deal and age gap does matter. There are also people that say that it really depends on the circumstances. I kind of lean towards it depends on the circumstances ordeal, but I'll explain that a little bit later. I think ultimately when it comes down to it, does age gap matter? I think it depends on the two individuals that are currently in a relationship, how they met, the circumstances behind it, and so on and so forth. So, apparently there are a lot of ladies who have an issue with people who have big age gaps in a relationship. So, like, for example, if you are a 40-year-old guy and you're dating a woman who is 25, people tend to have an issue with that. Even though both individuals are grown, probably, getting their own and so on and so forth. A lot of people, not just ladies, but people in general, will probably say to the side of, well, he has more experience. He's gone through life more. What does he have in common? What 40-year-old have in common with a 25-year-old, and so on and so forth. And I mean, yes, at the end of the day, one of my best friends, he says this quote, somebody who's a certain age is still a certain age. So 25-year-old still a 25-year-old, regardless of the maturity level. 30-year-old still 30-year-old. 40-year-old still 40-year-old. While that does bear some truth, there's also different dynamics of a relationship, and we got to understand that everything is not black and white. And not only that, but again, if two people are willing to make it work and it works out for them and it makes sense for them, then you just kind of got to let it be what it is, right? I have a colleague of mine who says her parents are literally 17 years apart. You know what I'm saying? That's a big age gap. And apparently, I think her parents got married when her mama was 19 and, hold on, let me do my math right. Dad was 36. And now, granted, this was back in the day, but even still, that's a huge age gap. Now, me personally, if I was single, which I'm not, but just saying, if I was, would I be dating a 19-year-old at my age? No, just because it's not my preference. I think that's a little bit too young. But again, everybody is different, right? It really depends on so many different circumstances. So let me go ahead and put my 2 cents in, right? So I'm on the side, like I said before, where it depends as far as does the age gap matter or not. The reason I say it depends is, one, like I said before, it depends on the two individuals that are involved in the relationship. But also, number two, the reason why I say it depends is because what circumstances are currently available, right? So, again, I'm 33 years old, right? And let's say you have a 33-year-old male and he meets a woman and she is 22, 23 years old. Do I think that's fair game? Yes, I do believe that's fair game. Both of them are adults. Both of them have the ability to choose what they want to choose. There's no manipulation behind it or anything like that, and so on and so forth. Now, the only way I would say no way, Jose, is if that adult, and unfortunately this does happen in the community, if that adult knew that person when they were an adolescent. If that was the case, then, oh, heck no. No, all day. And I have to bring that up because it's often talked about and brought up in conversations, and that's a fair side to address. And unfortunately, there are, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are a few men out there who have been guilty of that. They will literally see somebody that's 16 and 17-year-old and think, oh, she gonna be bad when she get a little older, and then start trying to date her when she like 19, 20, 21. That's creepy, dog. Don't do that. No, we don't do that around here. That's what you call predatorial behavior. That is an example of predatorial behavior. But I bring that up is because a lot of times some people will say, oh, well, if you're 33 and she's 22, or if you're 38 and she's 25, that's predatorial behavior. And no, it's not. No, it's not. If you didn't know that person when they were adolescent, that's fair game. I'm just saying. Look, you can sue me all you want. You can disagree. That's perfectly fine, respectfully, of course. But, that's just my take on it, right? And then if you think about it, when it comes to age dynamics with older men and younger women, that happens a lot more often than you realize. In fact, you would be surprised to know, or maybe not because you already know, that there are a lot more women that prefer to date a man that's older than them. Like, because it's the maturity level, experience, and also what that man brings, on that side of the fence. That's one of the reasons why younger men, typically in their 20s, not all, but some, struggle a little bit more with dating compared to men who are in their 30s. It's because of the experience level. It's because their value has gone up. And if you think about it, a man's value really increases as he gets older if he goes about doing it the right way. That is, I gotta make that disclaimer, because a lot of men, they think, oh, my value just gonna go up just because I'm older. No, it's not gonna go up just because you're older. It's going up because you're older and you're working on yourself and you're constantly improving. I gotta make that perfectly clear, because a lot of people tend to think, oh, when I hit my 30s, I'm gonna get all the women that I want. No, it don't work like that. You have to constantly work on yourself to become the best version of you. And that goes for both my fellas and my ladies. And if you're not doing that, of course you're not going to get better, because nobody wants a laxed version of you, just like you shouldn't want a laxed version of anybody. My lady is aiming to become the best woman that she can be on a daily basis, and I'm aiming to become the best man that I can be on a daily basis. That's why we are a great fit for each other, because we are constantly working to be better individuals, right? If you're not doing that, you're not going to get what you desire. I don't care how old you are. But anyways, I digress. I really don't think it's an issue. Now I do admit there are some age gaps I look at and I'm just like, couldn't be me though. But, if they both grown, the mindset I have is if they both grown and both individuals are out of high school, then, hey, if it works, it works. Because you don't know people's situations. You don't know how they met. You don't know the love origins behind it. And, at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that God can do exactly what he want to do. So guess what? If there's a 37-year-old man and a 20-year-old woman and they meet and they hit it off and things go great and they get married and they live happily ever after, then so be it. Let it be what it's going to be. I actually, one time I met a student's parents, and there's a 20-year age gap. At the time that they met, apparently, the mom was 30 and the dad was 50. And they ended up getting married, and apparently they're still together. I don't know exactly how many years it's been. Let me see. The child at this point, it's got to be like at least 19, 20 years old. Very old student of mine. They've graduated already. But just saying, like, it works for some people, you know? So you can't determine when you're going to find love. You can't determine when it's going to happen. You can't always even determine who it's going to happen with. You know, so I think at the end of the day, if it works out for both individuals, it works out for both individuals. So to answer the question, does age gap matter? I'm still going to lean on the side that it depends. I think the only time it really matters is if you knew that individual before they were an adult. If you did, then yes, it does matter and you shouldn't do that. But if you didn't and you knew them since you both were adults, fair game. I know some people might disagree with what I'm saying, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, you got to figure out what works for you. And I respect people who agree with my, saying. I also respect people who disagree, because I think there are fair points on both ends. But we have to get rid of this notion that, it's a horrible thing if there's like a 10-year age gap, 12-year age gap, 15-year age gap. I think it really just depends on where the two individuals are at in life. And again, if they are consenting adults, and especially if that woman or even that man, because, sometimes there are older women that like to date younger men, then... And they're both out of high school, and they grown, and but that's just me. That's just my viewpoint. Anyways, Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, inspire you to be a better you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. Why don't you go ahead and leave a comment below? Let me know what you think. I am very curious to hear your thoughts. And if you want to, maybe I'll make a part 2. Because I feel like this is a very huge topic that a lot of people have been talking about for quite some time. Until next time, y'all. Peace.